This is The Boyfriend Kickoff, a prequel novella to The Boyfriend Comeback, written by Lauren Blakely, performed by Teddy Hamilton as Jason and J.F. Harding as Beck. Chapter 1. The Players and the Pets. Jason. I knew this day was coming. Saturday, August 15th, 10 a.m., has been on the calendar since training camp began. But as I stand on the sidelines of the San Francisco Hawks facility with my receivers, staring at the field, slack-jawed, I am thoroughly unprepared for the onslaught of cute. Those fur balls are so damn adorable. I smack Nate's rock-hard shoulder. Just look at them, I say, pointing at the kittens on the 50-yard line. Like I can look anywhere else, Nate says as if he's been injected with sunshine. Volunteers from the Furry Friends local animal rescue have escorted a dozen or so adoptable critters to the final practice before our first preseason game tomorrow against the Los Angeles Mercenaries. Until this second, I had no idea I wanted a kitten in my life. I'm a pro baller who's on the road a ton, with no need for that kind of responsibility in my very single life. But now, sign me up. Starting with that one. The black and white cat with tiny white gloves. Dude, that tuxedo is all mine, I shout, laying claim to my favorite. Nate points at another crate. Dibs on the orange one. The tight end, Orlando, joins us and calls out, I want the Siamese then. Orlando peers around me, then Nate, like he needs to protect his turf from some of the most competitive guys on the team. It's just receivers and quarterbacks here, while the defensive backs are running drills on the far end of the field. Nate and I trot over to the crate with the black and white one. The little critter meows, sauntering to the door to say hi. Bending to one knee, I offer a finger through the crate wires. Hey there, little sweet thing, I say, and he nibbles on my finger. I look up at the sound of sneakers on spongy grass. A friendly blonde makes her way toward us. Reese Kingsley is the publicist for the team and its charitable efforts, including the Furry Friends weekend. All proceeds from that game will go to the animal rescue, and soon our team photographer will snap pics of the players with the pets to get fans excited and try to rehome some animals. You two ready for the first pics? She asks as she arrives next to me. I'm ready for my close-up, I say. And then he wants 2 kittens for the road, please, Nate puts in, smart-ass that he is. His eyes twinkle with humor. So does Nate, I add. Reese shakes her head in amusement. Every single time we do one of these events, the guys all melt. That perks my interest. You're saying the other athletes go home with armfuls of kittens? With a smirk, Reese nods. They do. But listen, don't feel obligated to adopt. We always clear the shelters with the promo. Just the pics will be more than enough, she says. Nearby, a woman with a camera around her neck, her black hair piled on her head, waves to Reese. Reese waves back to the photographer and turns to me. Looks like we're ready. We appreciate you doing this with the opposing team. Shielding my eyes from the bright morning sun, I scan the field, looking for the mercenaries. Some jog out from their tunnel, also in practice gear. A guy in a Furry Friends t-shirt walks over from a nearby crate and reaches into the one housing my favorite tux-wearing feline. Reese sets a hand on my arm. Jason, we'll get you first, along with some shots of you in the mercenaries QB. We want a picture of you holding Bandit. He's 6 months old and is part gymnast already. The shelter handler will be off camera in case the little dude treats you like you're a vault. I've got pretty steady hands, I say with a grin. If I can carry a ball downfield, I can handle a high-flying kitten. The t-shirt guy hands me Bandit, who greets me with an upbeat meow. Ah, hell. My heart squishes, all helpless. Forget gusto. I turn to mush as I scratch the little guy under the chin. Oh, look at you, with your cute little gloves, I coo. Snap, snap, snap. The team photographer is already on it. Guess she knows a good moment when she sees it. The little fella asks for more, lifting his furry head higher. Then, dear God, the kitty purrs. I'm dead. Oh, I get you, Bandit, I say to him. It's sure nice to get a massage. A voice rumbles from near my right shoulder. It is. I don't recognize the gravelly tone, so I turn to the guy who just materialized by my side. I catalog him. Brown eyes that are broody and intense, a jaw lined with stubble, dark hair that's thick and a little wild, borderline unkempt. His jersey sports a number 9. It's the Mercenaries' new quarterback, Beck Cafferty. Since it's my job to know the other quarterbacks, their skills and their weaknesses, I've read up on him and watched some game film, but there's not much to see or know. He has a few less years than my 26. This is his first season starting after he warmed the bench last season as a backup. Cafferty didn't go to a big football school, and Mercenaries didn't draft him till round 6. We'll see what he's made of. Hey, Cafferty. I give a chin nod to my opponent and a pleasant enough greeting. Okay, he says. Not quite warm, but not cold either. More like he's figuring out what to say next. Bandit interrupts with a demanding meow. He no longer wants to hang out in my arms. He clambers onto my shoulder. I reach for the wily cat, tugging him back down. I guess it's time for quarterbacks and very busy kittens, I say lightly, hoping to make the moment easy for both Beck and me. No need for him to feel awkward as the new guy, even though I plan to pummel his team tomorrow. Beck's quiet, though, as he watches me maneuver the kitten around. You've got a live wire, he finally says. I glance at the fur monster scrambling up my chest. I think this dude wants to be our new mascot. Pretty sure he's a hardcore Hawks fan, I say, as Bandit attempts to secure a perch on my shoulder again. Maybe he's part parrot, Beck says dryly. You might be right, I reply. Reese returns to us with an orange ball of fluff in her arms. Here's creamsicle for you, Beck. The other quarterback nods and takes the kitten. Thanks. Reese shifts her attention back to me, snorting with laughter when she sees my predicament. Do you need a different one? No way am I giving up on this creature. That'd be admitting defeat in the face of both a 4-pound animal and the guy leading the opposition tomorrow. Nah, Bandit and I are just working out the terms of our arrangement, I say as I adjust the kitten once more. Reese pats my free arm. Whatever you say. I make another effort to settle the little dude down, scratching his chin again. Bandit purrs a second time. Whew. There we go. I steal a glance at Beck and Creamsicle. The fluffy orange guy is chilling in Beck's arms, calm as can be. Damn, someone has cat magic. The photographer clears her throat. Can we get you two shoulder to shoulder? She asks. I hardly want to move now that Bandit's settled down, but I do it anyway, shuffling an inch to be a good sport. Beck moves a drop closer, but then stops, standing his ground. A little closer, the photographer says. I shift again. Beck moves maybe a millimeter. I sense the tension in Beck as if he's holding himself back. I'm unsure why, and I don't want to read into his restraint. I just stay where I am, cradling a squirmy cat and smiling for the camera. The shutterbug doesn't ask us to slide any nearer to each other. Good. Beck's giving off some serious, don't stand so close to me vibes. Reese says thanks when we're done, then reminds us that we have media questions after practice. I'll be there in the briefing room, ready for anything, I say. You always are, Reese adds with a smile, then looks at the other quarterback with a more serious expression. Beck, you're all good to join us? Beck's eyes flicker, maybe with annoyance or possibly frustration. He doesn't say anything that helps me figure out which one, just gives a quick nod, then he walks off to join his team. What's his deal? He's dryly sarcastic one minute, then coldly uncomfortable the next. I don't need to be pals with every other quarterback I play against, but it's a small club. There are only 32 starters in the league, and there's no point in being this standoffish. Whatever. We don't need to be friends. We're opponents, after all. Chapter 2. Snow in August. Jason. A little later, after our separate practices have ended and everyone's showered, Reese escorts Beck and me to a media briefing room inside our facility. Reese chats about baseball and a new food truck she and her husband are obsessed with. I trade some food recs and weigh in on some pitching changes, and our small talk makes it even more glaringly obvious that Beck barely says a word. Maybe he's just a quiet guy. This is my turf, after all. I could try to make him feel more welcome, but we're at the room a few seconds later. "The usual crew is here," Reese says when we reach the doorway. "I'll be sure to invite them all to my barbecue later," I say to her with a wink. "Have fun, Jaybird," she says. I bound up the steps to the podium on the low stage. "Hey there," I say with a smile as I reach the mic. I ask Megan from the local radio station how her daughter's doing, then ask John from a popular sports site whether his fantasy baseball team is still killing it. Once that's done, Megan stands and sticks out her phone to record. "Opponents have been trying to figure out your weakness for the last few years. Is it kittens?" I just shrug helplessly. I was hoping to keep that a secret, but it seems the cat's out of the bag. Several reporters groan, but they're laughing at the dad joke too. That's the thing about handling the media. Jokes that are so bad they're funny can make you likable. That's my goal when I talk to the press. Charm them, keep them on my side, and win over more fans day by day. It's not easy being the only openly gay starting quarterback in the league, so I made it my mission when I won the coveted job to be accessible to the press and as upbeat as possible. The latter's not hard. I'm a glass-half-full guy. After a few more questions, I'm done at the lectern. When I pass Beck, I give him a murmured, "Good luck," and a smile. Least I can do, I suppose. He simply nods. He keeps his eyes forward and his shoulders square. I head to the doorway, watching from there as the broody guy drags his feet toward the steps. When he reaches the mic and lifts his face, he looks like he wishes a fire alarm would go off. Oh, maybe that's his issue? Public anxiety? A sports talk host goes first. "You seem to get along well with the orange tabby. Are you an animal person?" That's a softball question for the newbie if I ever heard one. But Beck just nods awkwardly for an answer. He says nothing. Silence follows from the press corps like they're waiting for more. Beck glances at the doorway, a flicker of longing in his eyes. Another reporter sticks up a hand. "Did you have pets growing up?" They're still going easy on him. Makes sense since this is a presser about kittens. Beck shifts on his feet, tugs at his t-shirt. "Yes," he says. Megan pipes up. "Are you looking forward to tomorrow's game?" He might be breaking out in a cold sweat. "Yeah." I cringe for him. This is like having a dream where you go to school naked. Now I feel bad for thinking he was hot and cold. He's just really fucking uncomfortable. John's arm goes up. He clears his throat. "John Bastian, the Sports Zone." Stop, please stop. Someone should put Beck out of his misery. I glance at Reese, who stands a few feet away. Her brow is knitted, a sign she's going to nix this Q&A soon. "Tomorrow is your first game as a starting quarterback," John begins. "Your dad and brother were quarterbacks too, but you're the first to play in the pros. How are you feeling about hitting the field?" Beck blinks, straightens his spine, grunts out, "Fine." Oh man, I've got to do something. I can't wait for Reese or anyone else. I bound back up the steps to the podium and lean into the mic. Out on the field, Beck was saying he looks forward to beating us tomorrow, but come on. I told him there's a better chance of snow in San Francisco in August, didn't I? He cracks a small smile. "You did. Get ready for it to snow." After I do a quick one-on-one interview with Megan at the end of the presser, I double back to the locker room to grab my phone and keys from my stall. Time to get out of here. There's a grill in my backyard calling my name. As I walk down the corridor to the players' lot, Beck pushes open the visitors' locker room door and steps into the hall, peering both ways as if checking for lurking press. When his gaze lands on me, I brace myself just in case we're back to the get away from me routine. Instead, he waits for me to approach, his expression slightly rueful. When I'm a few feet away, he says stiffly, "Hey, McKay." I stop. "What's up?" He gestures in the direction of the briefing room. "I didn't get a chance to thank you for that back there. You didn't have to help me, but I appreciate it." "No biggie," I say. relieved he's saying thanks rather than fuck off, you presumptuous asshole. Your first presser? That obvious? He rolls his eyes, but not at me or the question. It's 100% self-directed. I'm glad I did what I did. You'll get there. It takes time. He sighs and drags a hand through his messy hair. Thanks, man. That was cool. I needed it. Glad we're good. I gesture toward the doorway. I'll see you around. But Beck doesn't make a move to leave. He scrubs a hand across his jaw as if he wants to say something else. Finally, he does. I grew up with dogs. I trained our border collie to high five, play hide and seek, salute, and even sit quietly in a room when we had guests over. I don't know why it's hard to just say that. Hell. I feel for the rookie. I was in his spot a few years ago. It can be suffocating, the pressure to step into the role of the team leader. No wonder he's been all over the place today. I'm throwing a barbecue this afternoon. Guess I'm in a charitable frame of mind because I invited some mercenaries too. I'll make sure everyone is gone well before curfew. You're welcome to join. His eyes light up. We're allowed? An evening away from the team hotel is a big deal. Teams are seriously strict about what players do the night before a game. But my shindig is a late afternoon event. Since it's a charity game, the teams have relaxed the rules a little. You can come. Beck gives a flicker of a smile. Thanks. That'd be great. What's your address? 108. I begin, then stop. No way his recall is that good. Do you want me to text it to you? I have a photographic memory, Beck says with all the confidence he lacked at the podium. Okay. I give him the rest of my addy. He taps his temple, then repeats it back to me like a show-off. It'll be right up here with the playbook. I'm a little thrown for the first time today, but I cover it up with a laugh. Cool. See you later. I turn toward the door, then remember some of the guys are bringing dates. Bring a friend if you want. Or an SO, significant other. Thanks. I'll see you later. Then I turn and leave, wondering if those last words mean he's bringing a girlfriend. Or a guy friend. Wondering, too, why I care. He's attractive, sure, but I didn't even like him at first. But here in the hallway, he's kind of opened up, admitted he feels awkward, and that vulnerability is sort of endearing. Maybe that's why I'm a little curious if he's gay or single. Except, I really shouldn't care.
Chapter 3. One of those kitchen people. Beck. You can learn to teach a dog to high-five from a YouTube tutorial. You can figure out how to tie a bow tie with a video. Hell, you can even learn how to throw a football in a few simple steps, courtesy of an amateur coach on Instagram. But fuck if there's anything useful on the internet about how to act when your crush invites you to his home, where you'll be surrounded by his and your teammates. It's a quandary, but I'm not going to the barbecue to hit on Jason. I'm going because I desperately need a favor, and Jason McKay is the only one I can ask. After I change into shorts and a t-shirt at the team hotel, I stop by the nearest Whole Foods on my way to Pacific Heights. I text my friend Rachel as I cruise the aisles. What do you bring to a last-minute barbecue? She replies quickly. You can never go wrong with potato salad. Also, who the hell invited you to anything? I roll my eyes and type. Shocking, I know. You didn't answer me. I reply. Don't read anything into it, Rachel. Just another football player. Then I go to the deli counter and ask for a pound of some gourmet salad with purple potatoes and fancy pickles. No idea if Jason likes potato salad. Why would you know, dipshit? Maybe I should bring beer. That's what you can never go wrong with. Beer. It's too late to kibosh the salad, but when the woman at the deli counter hands me the tub, I say thanks, then head to the beer aisle. I can bring both beer and salad, right? That's not too much, is it? I suppose I could ask the internet, but the World Wide Web has already proven useless today. Quickly, I track down a local wheat ale that sounds delish, and I grab a six-pack. There. I zip through the self-checkout, then order a Lyft, inputting Jason's address. Once I'm in the car, I peer at my reflection on my phone, run a hand through my hair, check my teeth, consider my scruff. Then I roll my eyes. It's a barbecue. not a date. When the lift turns down Jackson Street, I gawk at the sweet homes. Swank townhouses line the block, their 3- and 4-story facades signaling, you need money to live here. Must be nice to go in the first round of the draft and land a fat signing bonus. The car arrives, and I thank the driver and climb out, then draw a deep breath as I face the townhouse. I can hunt wide-open receivers under pressure, but walking up the steps to this guy's home makes me more nervous than anything on the field. I do my best to slough off the nerves. Jason doesn't know I think he's hot, that I've admired him from afar, that I sometimes wonder what makes him tick. He's not going to find out either. Those are the benefits of having an excellent poker face and a propensity for saying little. I bound up the steps and rap on the door, then peer through the bay window and into his living room as I wait. A big U-shaped couch fills the space, and there's a huge screen on the wall. No one's walking around inside, but I wait patiently. It's been a minute, and no one has answered. I hit the doorbell. A loud chime rings, and moments later, footsteps echo from inside. The door swings open. Jason fills the doorway, all good guy charm and welcoming blue eyes. With that grin and that dimple, you could put the all-American guy on a cereal box, and cardboard crunchies would sell out of grocery stores across the country. His gaze lands on the potato salad and beer in my hands. "Good choices. I'll allow entry," he says dryly. His humor relaxes me the slightest bit. "Good thing I didn't come empty-handed," I say. I step inside and he closes the door. "I would have let you in even if you had. No one else brought anything. The fuckers." Great. I listened to my friend and showed up with potato salad like it's a freaking Tupperware party in 1967 suburbia. Oh, really? I hope it sounds casual, but I'm groaning inside. Jason claps my back. "It's all good, Cafferty. I should have told you earlier that I'll handle everything. But this is good beer, so you get a gold star." "Thanks," I say, but I feel awkward, as I sometimes do. I follow him as he heads into a state-of-the-art kitchen. He takes the salad and puts it in the fridge. As I set the beer on the kitchen island, I try not to gawk. But this kitchen is a palace. It's all stainless steel and pristine appliances. The Sub-Zero fridge is a thing of beauty. The meals I can make here. I pull myself back before I get lost in a cooking daydream. "Your fridge is to die for," I blurt. Then I want to kick myself. Who the hell says that? You have a nice fridge? Why don't I just tell him he has a lovely-sounding doorbell, too? As he shuts the door, he shoots me a smile. "Are you one of those kitchen people?" Jason makes it sound like a secret club that believes aliens explored our prehistoric planet. When kitchen people walk the earth. His exaggerated horror eases my nice fridge embarrassment. "Kitchen person in the house," I declare, patting my chest, trying to muster some coolness, some chill. I'm a card-carrying one. "Sweet. My brother is a kitchen person. I have zero skills in that arena, but I love good food," he says. I wave a hand around the room. "Why do you have all this kitchen bling, then?" He shrugs affably. I suspect he does everything affably. "Came with the place. What can you do?" The question is rhetorical, but he's dropped his voice to a conspiratorial whisper, and his tone is just shy of sexy, which makes it all kinds of dangerous. Jason points to the six-pack. "You want one of those wheat ales?" "Sure," I say, mostly because I need something to do with my hands. With the smoothness I'd expect from an athlete, he snags a bottle opener from a drawer and pops off the tops of 2 beers. He hands me one, then tips his toward mine. "To destroying you tomorrow," Jason says as we clink bottles. This I can handle. Football and the trash talk that comes with it. I give him my best dirty glare. Channeling my in-the-huddle glower makes me feel like I can manage anything, including this mix of lust and admiration. The gridiron is the one spot where I feel completely comfortable, where I don't overthink or worry. "To you, eating your words," I toss back. "Damn, those are fighting words, Cafferty," he says with an appreciative smirk. "But I bet they'll taste as delicious as this beer when you have to congratulate me on my win." "I'm feeling a friendly wager coming on," I say, and I fight like hell to rein in a smile. This is so much more enjoyable than the press scrum earlier. "You like to gamble?" Jason asks, taking a drink of his beer. "Well, not on my own games, nor any football games for that matter." Jason chuckles. "Obviously. But anything else?" I trail off, then give an easygoing shrug for my answer. I do. Good to know. It's kind of a throwaway comment, but I want to pounce on it, ask what he means, why he said it. Except that's not why I'm here. Lively music and laughter drift in from the yard, along with the mouth-watering smell of grilled chicken. A get-together unfolds beyond this room, but Jason hardly seems like he's missing it. For a few delirious seconds, I let my mind wander to the idea of just him and me, here, on a date. Then I stop that bullshit. As tempting as hanging here in the kitchen with him is, I may not have a better opportunity to ask my question. But a blur of black and white leaps onto the counter, skidding across the black island, then stopping short at a butcher block cutting board. Holy shit, the tuxedo kitten is here. I point. That's Bandit. In case he doesn't know. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He adopted me earlier. Evidently, he can also jump onto the stool and then onto the counter. But he isn't supposed to be in the kitchen. Jason scoops up the kitten. Dude, who let you out? He reprimands the critter, but he doesn't sound the least bit mad. More like smitten as he scratches the animal's chin. You took him home? I ask, still a little shocked that he opened his home to a pet just like that. Jason moves fast. How could I resist him? The question is almost a statement, and I suppose it fits his personality. Jason's the guy who adopts a kitten on a whim, hosts a team barbecue and invites the rival players, and owns a fridge fit for a chef even though he doesn't cook. I could see him teaching himself to cook someday just because he feels like it. Also, he charms cats, judging by how Bandit rubs his head against Jason's chest. You're supposed to be in the guest room. Jason chides him. I know. A pretty voice calls out from the hall. A brunette pokes her head into the kitchen. I'm sorry, Jaybird. I was looking for the little girl's room, and I opened the wrong door. No biggie, Lucy. I'll take Bandit upstairs, he says. The off-limits area, she says playfully. You know me so well, he says. Yes, no one goes upstairs at your parties, she says. Rules are rules, he replies. As Lucy leaves, Jason turns to me, blue eyes twinkling. Think you could teach Bandit to sit quietly in his room while guests are over? I smile. That might be out of my realm of expertise, I say. Though I wish I could. It might be easier to ask for a favor if we could make a fair trade. But for now, I've missed the opportunity to ask. Instead, I say, I'll go outside. Grab some grub. Orlando makes the best barbecue, he says. Since, as I may have mentioned, I don't cook. Kitten in his arms, he heads down the hall, turns up the staircase, and disappears. I go outside, joining some of the guys I already know. Travis is here. He's one of our receivers, and a favorite target of mine. Our kicker's here too. So is Nate, the top receiver for the Hawks, and one of a handful of openly gay players in the NFL. Lucy, the woman who let Bandit escape, turns out to be Orlando's girlfriend. A bunch of renegades, the city's other NFL team, are here as well, and I say hi to Cooper, the quarterback, and Harlan, the just-retired wide receiver. The crew welcomes me, introducing me to people I don't know as we chat and down beers and soda. For the next few hours, we eat and talk, diving into barbecued chicken and gourmet burgers, chowing down on kale salad, potato salad, and corn on the cob. The afternoon is laid back, with Jason floating among the guests, making sure everyone has a drink, a bite to eat, some dessert. Eventually, the sun sinks in the sky, and the guests filter out. Harlan claps me on the shoulder. Do your best to kick ass tomorrow, rookie. The Hawks are our biggest rivals, and I'd love nothing more than to see them lose every single game. He winks at Jason as he says it, because the message is really for him, renegade to Hawk. I'll try my hardest, I say with a small smile. Jason flips Harlan the bird. I get it, Harlan. It's tough being second best to the Hawks. With a roll of his eyes, Harlan takes off. Nearly everyone is gone. I hang back, gearing up to make my request. I can't keep being Mr. Awkward with the press now that the starting job is mine to lose. Nate and I are the last to leave. After he says goodbye, it's just me, standing in the doorway with Jason. Now or never. Can I ask you a question? Jason's expression goes serious, his gregariousness vanishing. Sure. He sounds like he has his guard up. I want to reassure him that my favor is nothing too personal, for him at least. I'm the one who needs help. You might have noticed, I suck with the media. Any chance you could give me some pointers? His face clears, and he's back to playing the gregarious host. With a smile, he gestures to the living room. Let's do it, Cafferty. When Jason shuts the door, the two of us are alone in his home. Something I've imagined more than a few times. But I can't go there now. I'll get flustered, and I desperately need his help with the media. Not with my crush.
Chapter 4. I'm getting the distinct impression you have a crush. Jason. Since it's the night before a game, we switch from beer to LaCroix, then settle onto the couch in my living room with our drinks. Beck takes one end of the U-shaped couch and I grab the other. Talk to me, I say, relieved he wants to chat about something easy. For a second I thought he was going to throw me an awkward curveball. It happens. Anything from, can you introduce me to your agent, which I've gotten from other players, to, were you hitting on me earlier? Something I've had to deal with a couple of times from homophobic assholes in college. Fortunately, I haven't had that in the pros. Representation has grown, and now major sports count plenty of out athletes among their players. But you never know when you'll run into a bigot. I take nothing for granted. Beck drags a hand through his dark hair, then sets his drink on my coffee table. So, I guess the question is, how the hell do you do it? I laugh, appreciating how forthright he is now compared to earlier today. He's not a dick. He just has stage fright. It's an art form, I joke. Then I exhale deeply, setting down my drink too. Time for some real talk. Listen, I'm presuming we're not exactly in the same situation, but I had to make a choice a few years ago. Be open, be accessible, be available. Beck nods intently, as if he's taking mental notes, or maybe snapping pics with his photographic memory. Sure, I get you. Then in a quieter voice he adds, on most of that? Wait, hold on. Is he telling me something without telling me something? But I don't want to read into his most of that remark. I'm just glad he's picked up on my overall meaning. I've had some mentors over the years. I continue, focusing on his question. Guys I can look up to who have had to face some of the same scrutiny. Like Grant Blackwood, I say, naming the out catcher for the local baseball team. From talking to him and others, I sort of figured out I needed a shtick with the press. Beck's brown eyes flash with understanding. Got it. I need a shtick, you're saying? I reach for my can on the coffee table and raise it to punctuate my point. Bingo. I take a drink. Beck nods, absorbing my advice. And your shtick is... He's not so much asking a question as waiting for me to finish for him so he doesn't have to be the one to identify my press persona. But I'm not going to let him off so easy. You can say it. He laughs, shaking his head. He's not touching the answer with a 10-foot pole. Come on, Cafferty, say it. I goad him as I set down the drink, then stretch an arm across the back of the couch. More laughter. Then he holds up his hands in surrender. Can't do it. I sigh in over-the-top disappointment. How can I help you come up with a shtick if you can't say what mine is? He dips his face, maybe worried he'll offend me, but he gets the guts to mutter, bad dad jokes. Dude, there's no other kind of dad joke. He laughs. I won't argue with you there. But I also kind of go for the whole mayoral routine, I say. A touch more serious as I share what's behind the lame jokes. Know what I mean? I glad hand, ask the reporters how they're doing. It works, and it helps me stay on a good footing with them. I rub my palms, getting down to business. So, what's yours going to be? He laughs a little helplessly. Hell if I know. Got any ideas? I scrub my chin, giving him a once-over. Damn, he's handsome. But that's irrelevant. I shake off the thoughts of his good looks. I'm not interested in admiring straight men and their stubbled jaws, intense irises, and full lips. You're a smart guy, right? I ask. I like to think so, he says, uncertain. You think so or you know so? This time he owns it, saying with confidence, "I know. Lean into that then. Maybe your shtick is the thoughtful QB. Play around with some options, because the reality is this: when you're the quarterback, you can't shy away from the media." True words, he says. A chime rings from my smartphone on the table. "Unfinished business starts in 10 minutes, a cool robotic voice announces. I sit up straight, hunting around the cushions for the remote. "Sweet, I've been waiting for the new season to binge," I say. Beck's quiet for a beat, looking down, but a smile seems to tug on his lips. Me too. It comes out soft, but with a hint of hope in it. Maybe this is ridiculous, but it sure sounds like he wants to watch it. With me. When Beck turns my way, the look in his deep brown eyes borders on sexy, maybe even dirty. A little like the show. Unfinished Business is one of those romantic comedies that centers on several different couples. Some gay, some straight. Watching a show like that together is kind of datey, especially when the show gets kind of sexy, as it does. But I'm probably reading something into nothing. Lots of people like this show, and I have heaps of straight guy friends. Maybe Beck is just a straight dude who wants to hang. Nothing wrong with that. Don't overthink this. Just be the mayor. Want to watch it? I ask in my best cool and casual voice. Before he can answer, Bandit skids into the room, leaps onto the back of the couch and jumps onto Beck's lap. The other quarterback scratches the kitten's chin. "Hey there, little dude," he says. Then, without meeting my eyes, Beck says, "Let's watch it, Jason." Not McKay. Jason. The back of my neck prickles. I find the remote behind a stack of books on the coffee table, and out of the corner of my eye, I can tell Beck's watching me, looking at me. I point the clicker at the flat screen and turn on the streaming service, grateful to focus on the show. The soft light of dusk streams through the window. Curfew is a couple more hours away for him. As the opening credits roll, I put the clicker on the cushion and settle into the couch. Beck looks cozy with my new kitten curled on his shoulder. "I told you, he's part parrot," he says in a hushed tone, like he doesn't want to disturb the kitty. I don't respond to his parrot comment. I don't know what the hell to say. I focus on the show. One of the characters leashes up her dog for a walk, then bumps into the cute guy, Jamie, in the apartment lobby. If this were a date, I might remark on how absolutely fucking adorable Jamie is, and he might agree, but I zip my mouth closed. When Jamie meets up with his work buddies later, two guys who just started dating each other, I keep quiet too and stare harder at the screen. But out of the corner of my eye, I notice Beck looking at me. Then he swallows and darts his eyes away. What the fuck is going on? My straight friends don't steal glances at me when we watch TV, and I'm not going to check him out, no matter how soulful those brown eyes are. Nope. Won't go there. I am too much of a sucker for great eyes to even risk a peek. I try to concentrate on Jamie and Zoe, Garrett and Carlos, but I'm too keenly aware of Beck on my couch, mere feet away. His "Can I ask for your help with the media request" is suddenly loaded with new possibilities. Midway through the episode, Beck clears his throat and rises, the kitten in his arms. Oh, okay. I guess he's done. That's fine. If he's taking off, that puts an end to my confusion. I kind of want him to go so I can stop wondering. But I don't want him to leave either. Ugh. Bathroom down the hall? Beck asks. Oh, he's not going at all? So I get to stay confused. Great. Yep, down the hall, I repeat. He bends closer and hands me the cat, his fingers brushing mine. He did not just touch me intentionally. That was a cat handoff, that's all. As he heads away to the bathroom, I drag a hand through my hair, trying to process the shift in the mood. The date-like feel of the night, the way he's giving off flirty vibes. But then I press the brakes. I don't know Beck from Adam, don't know his agenda, so it's best to assume it's truly just this TV show he's staying for. "I'm getting the distinct impression you have a crush on my dog." The feminine voice from the TV show reconnects me to reality. Well, TV reality. Shit, I didn't even pause the show when Beck left. The clicker's in the middle of the couch, so I scoot over and grab it, point it at the screen, and back up 30 seconds. Beck returns to the living room, circling the couch. To get back to his seat, he has to go by me, and his dark eyes are on mine as he slinks past. "You stole my cat," he says, his tone teasing, flirty, his eyes sparkling. What is going on? He sits down, closer to me. He's a whole cushion closer. I don't know what to do. "Anything good happen while I was gone?" he asks. I swallow, trying to form words. "I rewound it," I say, stating the obvious since the screen has paused. Then I hit play and I do my damnedest to watch unfinished business. When Jamie and Zoe stop in the stairwell, I don't move. I laser in on the screen. The kiss gets a little hot, a little heavy. No idea what Beck is doing, and I refuse to peek, even when Bandit leaves my lap to curl up in his. Lucky cat. When the episode ends, I bet he'll say thanks and take off. But once the credits roll, he clears his throat, takes a breath, then blurts out, "Want to watch another?" His question is mock speed, as if it's fueled by hope. A spark slides down my spine. I'm supposed to be in control, but I don't feel that way right now. And I like that feeling too much. Sure.
Chapter 5. I like to gamble. Beck. I should leave. Really, I should. But I can't seem to find the will to say a simple goodbye. Thanks for the advice, man. I appreciate it. I just don't want to. Maybe this is what happens when you meet your crush, and he exceeds your expectations. Jason sure did this morning, saving me from those reporters, all uber-competent and kind-hearted at the same time. In one swift move, I went from crushing from afar to crushing in person, on a guy who clearly cares about others. Then my crush ballooned when he invited me over and freely shared pointers. I came here because I needed his help, but I stayed because he's so easy to talk to, and easier to look at, and fun to hang with. I glance at the clock on his wall. Curfew's in a few hours. I need to get back to the hotel soon. But not yet. We finished 2 more episodes, the cat purring in my lap the whole time. When the last one ends, Jason gestures to Bandit. "It's official. The cat prefers you." I smile, petting the soft creature. Like I said, I grew up with animals. I think they know I'm an animal person. I'm not that social. I'm not good with crowds. I relied on my older brother for so much growing up. As a result, I have an easier time with animals. And animals seem to know it. Animals also make great fodder for conversation, and I need that sometimes. Like, right now. But is Bandit the name you're keeping? Jason arches a brow. You harshing on my cat's name now? Maybe a little. It's a good name, but... He growls in mock annoyance. But what, Cafferty? It could be better. I'm just saying. I tease him a little, and enjoy it far too much. He wiggles his fingers, the sign for me to give up the goods. You already romanced him out from under me. Now you're challenging my cat's name? Yes. Yes, I am, I say, and I don't make a damn move to leave. This night feels too good. Even though one voice says, go before you do something dangerous, another voice whispers, go on, do something dangerous. I'm saying there are better names. Such as... I glance at the sleeping cat. He kind of reminds me of a supper club singer with his tux. Jason lets that sink in. So, Leisure Suit Larry? I like that. Or Frank Sinatra, I offer. He tilts his head, considering the name. Frank isn't bad, Jason admits. Then he grabs his LaCroix can from the table, waggles it. I'm going to grab another. Want one? I want to spend more time with you. Instead, I say, sure, then set down the cat on the couch and follow the host to the kitchen. He stops short in the doorway. Shit. The counters are a mess, full of plates and dishes, tubs of half-eaten food, and bowls of mostly finished salads. I forgot I need to clean up, he says, as he enters the room. Let me help you, I say in a split second. You don't have to, he says generously. But I'm not ready for this night to end. I don't mind, I say, and it's a borderline plea. You helped me, so it's the least I can do. Jason takes a moment to weigh my offer. Then, with a friendly smile, he says, If you insist. He opens the dishwasher, and we fall into a rhythm. After rinsing the plates in the sink, I hand them to him, and he lines them up in the rack. We're a couple feet away. Close, but not too close. I want to be closer. As I near the end of the stack of plates, time starts to tick faster. The night is going to end soon. I'll need to leave. The pressure to learn if he's attracted to me mounts. As I hand him the final plate, I let my fingers graze the tips of his. He flinches in surprise, but the slight hitch in his breath tells me the surprise isn't a bad one. Do I keep going? When Jason closes the dishwasher, another minute has slipped by. I try to figure out how to move this evening into something else, something daring. I can't stop thinking about his mouth, or his chest, and the way I might feel if I could touch him. Jason grabs a Tupperware container from the counter, puts it in the fridge. I reach for another one, slide past him, and set it on a shelf. My arm nudges his. A flash of desire rushes through me from the contact. I close my eyes for a hot second, then open them. When he shuts the fridge, he's looking past me, around me, anywhere but at me. Fuck. I'm making this worse with my unsophisticated touches. I'm making him uncomfortable now. I should let this night end. I should, but my head's so hazy with desire, I can't finish the sentence the way I ought to. I try again. I should wash my hands, I say, to buy some time before I can ask him one more thing. Jason just nods, then gestures to the sink. Go for it, he says. Those words reverberate. They wrap around me. They drive me on as I walk to his sink, wash my hands, then turn off the tap. I hunt around for a towel. Jason holds one out to me. His face is unreadable, and it's clear I need to ask for what I want. He probably doesn't know I'm bi. I have to be the one to take the chance. I reach for the towel he's offering, wipe my hands on it, then set it down on the hook. I weigh my options. I could chalk this up to one weird night with some flirty tension, or I could go for it. But really, I've known my choice since I walked in that door, telling myself I was only here to ask for media help. Jason, remember when you asked if I like to gamble? I ask. I do, he says evenly, his thumbs tucked into the pockets of his shorts. His whole demeanor says the ball is in my court. I toss the ball in the air, and I serve. I'd like to roll the dice right now, and I have another question for you, I say. This time he doesn't speak. He just nods, letting me make the next move. One more glance at the clock. I have 20 minutes. I don't want to waste them. Can I kiss you?
Chapter 6. Dirty Everythings. Jason. When I first met Beck, I had no idea he was into dudes. I didn't get a vibe whatsoever. Until he said he wanted to watch the romantic comedy too. But even then, I didn't want to entertain those ideas. And once he started inching closer on the couch and checking me out, I still didn't want to presume he was into me. Now that he's shown his hand, I've got a ton of questions for him. Like, is this what you meant when you said most of that? And did you come over for this reason? And did you really want media tips? Because damn, I believed you. And the biggest question too, are you out? But as I rake my gaze over the man in my kitchen, I keep those questions locked up. This moment is so surreal. I don't want to break the spell by talking, or by thinking about what a bad idea kissing another quarterback might be. Beck struck the match with his question, and now I'm burning with lust. I want to fan the flames. I step closer, press my hand against his firm pecs, and whisper a smoky answer. Yes. Good. That's good, he says with a staggering breath. For a few hot, horny seconds, we stay poised, inches apart, caught in the anticipation. How the hell did I get here? I had no plans to make out with him. All I wanted this afternoon was to help a dude who was floundering. But damn it, Beck's sexy and smart and weirdly sort of charming. The way he's been looking at me is scrambling my brain and turning me on. He licks his lips, the tip of his tongue flicking over the corner of his mouth. But his hands hang at his sides like he doesn't know where to put them. Is he unsure after all, regretting his "can I kiss you" question? He silences my worries in a second as his mouth crashes down on mine. He isn't slow. He doesn't take his sweet time. Beck jams the gas pedal. The race car peels away onto the track at 100 miles an hour. Sparks fly down my body. Electricity flares in my bones. He kisses me hard and harder still, his hands grabbing my face, his lips bruising mine. Beck is fire and fury, and that cranks my engine. This is how I like it. I don't want sweet nothings. I want dirty everythings. He growls as he kisses me, which makes me hotter and harder. He sucks on my bottom lip. I bite the edge of his mouth. He thrusts his tongue past my lips and devours me. My head spins with lust as I taste him. He tastes desperate for me. And determined, too. Letting go of my face, he pushes on my chest, so I back up against the counter. The edge of it digs into my back. It hurts, and I don't care. His hands travel everywhere on my body, artlessly gripping my pecs, then grabbing my jaw and sliding down my arms, cataloging me. Seconds ago, he didn't know what to do with his hands. Now, he doesn't know how to stop touching me. At last, he returns his palms to my face, holding me hard as he kisses me relentlessly. I slide my hands around to his ass, curl them tight over his cheeks, and slam his hard-on against my dick. We make out like that, grinding and groaning, erections rubbing, till he wrenches away from me, panting, catching his breath. He stares at me like he wants to fuck right here, right now. Well, yeah. Then reality taps me on the shoulder. I'm not opposed to sex with a stranger. There's nothing wrong with a one-night stand. But Beck isn't a stranger. We work in the same small world. He's not out, at least as far as I know, and that raises some questions. Is he just a straight guy wanting to mess around with a gay dude? That's a hard pass for me. I set a hand firmly on his pecs. Is this an experiment for you? With a frustrated huff, he shakes his head, then nods. I jerk my gaze back, my hand becoming a stop sign on his chest. Do not pass go. Which one is it? He sighs heavily. Shit. Sorry. It's not an experiment. He mutters as if it's hard for him to say. That's not entirely reassuring, his half answer. I don't want to be some straight guy's walk on the dude side. Been there, done that. A lot of things suck about getting dumped, but getting ditched by a guy who never really liked guys is one of the worst. I push him away by more than a few inches. Are you sure you're not just messing with me? Adamantly, he shakes his head. No, definitely not. I'm not. So then, are you... If he can't say gay or queer or bi or pan, I don't want to fool around anymore. His gaze drops to my hand on his chest, to the distance I created, as if looking for the answer there. He raises his face, his dark eyes flashing with vulnerability. I'm bi. My lips quirk up. Now we're in business. Any variety of queer works for me, and while I've never known him to be out, I also don't know him, nor do I keep a list of newly out players. Plus, I just met the guy, and I don't want to turn this into an inquisition with any more questions. Like, are you out to your teammates? Or does your family know? Now, when we're both hot and bothered and both into guys rather than experiments, isn't the time for a deeper discussion on how far out of the closet or not he is. Now is the time for getting off. But just to have a little fun, I lift a hand to his jaw, Run my thumb along his face. You sure about that, Cafferty? That seems to ease whatever nerves he felt in speaking his truth. He wiggles a brow, gives me a cocky smirk. Positive. Want me to prove it to you? I lift my chin, seeing his bet and raising it. I really fucking do. With speed I didn't see coming, he unbuttons my shorts, yanks down the zipper, and fondles my cock.
Chapter 7. My Quarterback Crush. Beck. He's silky to the touch, and all steel underneath. My mouth waters. My chest tingles. I want to play with his dick all night, to stroke and tease, to lick and suck. But the clock is ticking, curfew is coming, and I don't want to stop this makeout train. Don't think he does either. A few seconds later, he undoes my shorts and shoves his hand into my boxer briefs to grasp my dick. I hiss in a breath. We've got our hands on each other, and it's bone-meltingly good. I groan at the twin sensations, the high-voltage charge from him touching me, and the heady thrill of me touching him. The man I've crushed on for the last year. The man I've fantasized about too many times to count. Now it's real, and I'm acutely aware that it's go time. I don't want to fuck this up, don't want to ruin this sexy moment with the wrong move. But I'm pretty sure I'm making the right ones. Jason's moaning and his cock is dripping. I try to toss all my worries aside. We've got 7 minutes tops before I turn into a pumpkin. Dirty Cinderella indeed. Gripping him tight, I slide my fist along his hot length, spreading my thumb over his crown, lubing him up as best I can. Yes, he grunts. I like it rough. And I like it crystal clear. A little direction goes a long way. I let go for a second, spit in my palm, then return to his dick and give a nice, tight jerk. Jason shudders, pumping into my fist and showing off his multitasking skills too, as he strokes my dick, using my pre-cum to ease the way. Lust shoots down my spine in fast, pulsing waves of pure pleasure. I grit my teeth from the sweet agony of his hand, shuttling up and down my length. My dick is leaking, but even as he spreads the liquid arousal on my shaft, that hardly feels like enough glide. This tandem handjob would be a little easier with help. I glance around. Maybe there's lotion nearby? Trouble is, I don't want to stop to go hunt down lube. And I don't want to sound high maintenance either. I'm not ready to ask for a blowjob. Maybe my own arousal is enough to get the job done. I focus on how good it feels, jerking him as he jerks me. I lift my hand to coat my palm again for him, then Jason grabs my wrist, stopping me. What? I ask, nerves skittering down my spine, hoping I didn't mess up. But in 2 seconds, he's down on his knees, hauling my dick into his mouth. And holy fuck, yes. My hands rope through his hair as he sucks me to the root, cupping my balls and playing with them. His mouth. Dear God, his mouth. And this view, it's almost too much, the way his lips stretch and his eyes twinkle. Before I know it, I'm moaning and groaning and fucking his face. But Jason surprises me once more, dropping me from his lips with a long, lingering suck, leaving a trail of saliva behind on my dick. Then he pops up, grips me again. Just helping matters along, he says, all sexy and flirty, and reading my needs completely. That is hot, and I am this close to losing it. As he jerks me, I reach for his dick, play with him loosely. It's hard to fully concentrate on his pleasure when I'm this close to the edge with his hand. I squeeze my eyes shut and give in to the lust charging down my body. His hand flies faster on my dick, then faster still. My balls tighten, my vision blurs, and I unload in his hand, shuddering as I release. Holy fuck, that felt out of this world. And it was just a handjob. When I open my eyes, my orgasm is dripping over his knuckles. With a smirk, Jason lets go of my cock and grabs his dick, giving a long, lingering stroke with the hand that jerked me. My eyes pop. I shudder out of breath. No fucking way. He's coating his dick with my orgasm, and I could nearly come again from the sight. He gestures to his dick with his free hand, all casual and sexy. "Finish me off, Cafferty," he says. I grip him, the evidence of my climax paving the way. In seconds, he's grunting, pumping his hips, and fucking my fist hard and fast. I remember his direction. He likes it rough. I tighten my grip, then tug on his balls with my other hand. His lips part. He shudders out a breath, tenses, then comes in my hand. My entire body is alive, lit up. I am electrified. All my senses are working in overdrive as I memorize this deliciously sexy moment. The sight of our orgasms, the sounds of our pleasure, the smell of our sweat. It's everything I've wanted, and I want it again. But I glance at the time. I should clean up. Ditto. We both make quick work of straightening up. The ticking clock rules out those awkward after-sex moments, like cuddling and talking, shit I don't know how to deal with. But I know this much. As tough as the last few months have been for me, tonight was a welcome break from the hard stuff. This feels like it was necessary for my sanity, for my mental health. Somehow, this hookup eased the pain of rougher days. My mind is lighter, and I want more of this good feeling. After I order a lift, which will be here in 2 minutes, I draw a soldiering breath. "Can I ask you one more question?" Jason laughs, shaking his head. "You and your questions." I'm glad I can make him laugh. That's a good start. "Yeah, I have a lot of questions, including this one. Was tonight a date?" Jason's smile is so warm and genuine, it doesn't seem like bullshit when he says, "I think so. Did it feel that way to you?" So much that I want another. It did. And our flight back to Los Angeles is at 8 tomorrow, so there's time after the game. A couple of hours. His smile grows. "You asking me on a post-game date, Cafferty? After I destroy the mercenaries, that is." Holy shit. I am. And it feels so right. Yeah, but it'll be the other way around. We'll annihilate you. He scoffs. Don't bet on it. That gives me a wicked idea. I'll bet you a blowjob. When I win, you finish what you started when you were sucking me off. He cracks up. We're betting for blowjobs. We are. Jason sticks out a hand. Fair enough. Winner gets a blowjob. He glances around. Back here at my place, tomorrow, 5-ish. We should have time for a blowjob and a bite to eat. That sounds like a perfect date. It's on. My phone beeps, telling me that my lift is here. No time for anything more. See you tomorrow. I'm tempted to plant a kiss on his lips, but I don't want to presume he'd like that, so I leave without kissing him goodbye. I don't really know how to play this game, but I'll have to learn, because it seems I have a second date with my quarterback crush. And, I suppose, for the first time, I want to figure it out. In the morning, my stomach is twisted into knots before I even leave the hotel, and it loops into even tighter ones in the locker room as kickoff nears. Soon, I'll take to the field in my first professional game as a starter. This is big. My stomach jumps again. I'm not made of iron, but I've had a lifetime of practice dealing with my pregame anxiety. I've learned how to handle my nerves. I have my rituals, and they help. Mostly. But this game is different for so many reasons. It would be easy to dwell on those reasons, but nope, can't go there. Need to stay in the moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Focus on the present, not the past. When game time rolls around, I leave the locker room and trot to the field after kickoff. Then, I narrow my focus until it's entirely on the field and shut off everything else.
Chapter 8. Unfinished Business. Jason. This is my favorite kind of game, one that ends in a win for the home team. As my Hawks jog off the field, victorious, we smack palms with the line of mercenaries. My game face is on, so when I near Beck, I don't crack a smile as I smack his palm or show an ounce of excitement over what's to come tonight. Fine, maybe I do steal a glance at those lips. In a couple hours, they'll be wrapped around my dick. Yes, this is a seriously good day. And it'll be an excellent evening. Maybe if all goes well, I'll ask him a question. How about a third date? We can probably pull off another one during the season. I'll check our schedules and figure it out, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. First, there are things to buy, like food and stuff. After I leave the facility, I get in my car and swing by Whole Foods. I don't know his likes, but he's an athlete and a foodie, so I make some educated guesses at the deli counter. A chicken salad, a quinoa dish, and since you can never go wrong with cheese, I snag some Gouda and crackers and olives. I might not cook, but I can make a charcuterie board almost as well as I can play football. At home, I change into better casual date attire and consider my reflection in the mirror. Trim shorts and a tight navy blue polo. It's all good. Then I head downstairs with Bandit at my heels. He performs his counter jump again in the kitchen, skidding a few inches, but then steadying himself. And it's a 9.2 from the American judge, I say. But rules are rules. I scoop him up and put him on the floor, moving the stool away so he can't reach the counter again. Then I set up the food. Damn, I impress myself, I say to my new roommate who's circling my feet. I head to the living room with my buddy, grab the clicker and point it at the TV. I'm tempted to watch another episode of Unfinished Business, but maybe Beck wants to watch with me? It's past 5, so I click to my texts, about to fire off a note to Beck, asking if he wants to see an episode tonight. Then I stop and laugh. I never got his number. He did the whole I have a photographic memory thing, and last night I didn't ask for it when he left because we had plans. We set a time and a place. The hair on the back of my neck stands on end. Did he play me? He should have arrived already. I sit up straighter and peer out the window. Maybe I'll spot him heading down the block or bounding up the steps. Or maybe he's just late. That happens. That's way more likely than him standing me up. After all, the guy did ask me out. I flop down on the couch, all casual and chill with my cat, certain Beck will be here any minute. Chapter 9. Fool Me Once. Jason. It's 8 o'clock, and I'm the schmuck standing in my kitchen, stabbing a fork into the chicken salad with one hand, scrolling through Insta with the other. Beck has no social, so I've resorted to checking for pics of the other mercenaries to make sure that, yep, the team plane has left the tarmac. The fucker ghosted me. He came over, hit on me, got me off, asked himself over again, and then actually ghosted me. I set down the fork with a loud clang, then click over to my messages. I text Nate to see if he wants to play some late-night mini-golf. He says yes, so I leave and meet my friend, grateful to get far away from my home. Whoa, you look pissed, Nate says after a quick appraisal at the golf check-in counter. I shake my head, still annoyed. Ghosted. He winces. Ouch. Tell me about it, I say as I grab some balls and clubs. He pats my shoulder. Been there. It bites. It sure does. As we hit the mini-links, I do my best to forget about Beck. I refuse to nurse the wound, just like I refuse to track down his number to ask what's up. He obviously didn't want me to contact him. That's why he played the whole photographic memory bit. Fine by me. I don't want to talk to him. I have nothing to say to a guy who stood me up. But it turns out he has something he wants to say to me. The next morning, I'm at the gym, running on the treadmill, when an LA number pops up in my texts. It has to be him. I guess he got my digits somehow. Asshole, I mutter. But curiosity gets the better of me. What does he want? Cursing myself, I click on the message. Hey, it's Beck. I'm sorry I didn't make it last night. Next time I see you, I'll explain. I snort at the vague note. Give me a break. There won't be a next time. But the world is small and I don't want to develop enemies, so I write back. We're all good. Best of luck with the starting gig. Then I block his number. I don't need an explanation. Maybe he's embarrassed his team lost. Maybe all he wanted was to get his rocks off before a game. Maybe he's so far in the closet he plans to hang there forever with his clothes. I'm not anywhere close to the closet, so it's also possible he just can't handle a guy like me who's all the way out. Whatever. I don't need his explanations, and I don't want to know his reasons anymore. The only thing I know for sure is this. I definitely don't need to deal with guys who ghost me. Whatever Beck's issue is, it isn't my issue. I won't let it be. With no distractions, I play my heart out for the rest of the season. I don't hear from Beck or see him. Lucky me. Our teams don't play each other in the regular season. I leave everything on the field, but it's not enough for a playoff berth. There's always next year, though, and when the new season rolls around, no distractions will be my mantra then, too. Shouldn't be a problem. I'm getting good at wearing blinders. A year after the ghosting, following the Hawks' first regular season game, I stick to my usual routine in the evening. I hang out with friends. Nate and I join some of our teammates at our favorite watering hole, grab a bite, and watch the sports news. As we're debating our favorite karaoke tunes for when we hit the stage in a few, the anchor's voice catches my attention. And in trade news today, Beck Cafferty has been traded to the San Francisco Renegades, she says. And boom. I'm not debating the Backstreet Boys or Ed Sheeran anymore. My heart's racing, and I'm scrambling for just the right play to call when I run into the quarterback I kissed. Because I will. And I need to be more than ready now that my one-time hookup has become my crosstown rival. So much for luck and putting our history behind me. Seems like a life with Beck Cafferty in it is just about to kick off. Beck and Jason's romance continues in The Boyfriend Comeback, available everywhere. This has been The Boyfriend Kickoff, a prequel novella to The Boyfriend Comeback, written by Lauren Blakely. Performed by Teddy Hamilton as Jason and J.F. Harding as Beck. Produced by Audibly Addicted Productions and Tyler Whitlatch at Plunk Productions in partnership with Lauren Blakely. Editorial management by Kara Hildebrand. Business management by K.P. Simon. Story and production copyright 2022 by Lauren Blakely Books.